Hello, everyone, and welcome to RazuCast. I am Arezu, and I'm here with my co-host Razia. Hi,
Hi,
how are you?
I'm good. I'm very excited. I'm good.
Yeah, me too. Me too. So this is the intro of the podcast, the English version of RazuCast. We also have a Persian version of this, but we have started the English version, starting with an intro, and so we're going to go from here, basically. And well, not gonna lie, we have done some tests and stuff like that, and we got a lot of feedbacks from a lot of professionals. And then we've decided to go on with this route. So this is how, basically. For the introduction version, we're going to keep it short and sweet for you guys. And we thought we're going to start with an introduction of both of us. I think we shall start with you because everything kind of started with you. And so we'll start from you, basically. So go ahead.
Okay, my name is Roz. I'm doing my postdoc at the University of Oslo. I'm affiliated to research center called Promenta. It's a research center where we basically are a group of people from sociologists, psychologists, neuroscientists, behavioral geneticists that we got together, and we are trying to map human well-being and happiness. Oh, and we also have philosophers. Philosophers. So what we are doing is that we are taking classics, old Greek philosophy ideologies on human well-being and happiness, starting from rooting from Aristotle, and all the way using modern science to understand happiness, basically. So I'm actually I feel very proud in a way to be affiliated to Promenta. We are a group of very active scientists, and there are so many well-known and so many great minds in my lab. And this idea of the podcast started once upon a time about 2 years ago, when I started my postdoc, and I was thinking that we are one of the biggest labs that work on happiness in the world, but we don't have the big platform to show what we work on. And we actually miss a lot of opportunities for elevating what we do and our science, given that I'm very bad at anything related to IT.
Don't say that.
And any technical issues. I really needed your mind and your help. And well, the story, it gets a little bit private here, because we were for a while talking about how much you are interested in human behavior, and how much you were curious about learning and listening. And then at some point we had this women life freedom movement in Iran, where we both of us started to be very depressed and hopeless. And we felt like we are two helpless people that have no impact in a way. And that was around the same time that I decided to apply for this money. And I was lucky enough to get it. So we started to buy all these tools and microphones and wires that I have no idea what they are. And we have this beautiful something like a keyboard that has many colors. It's so colorful and beautiful. And yeah, and that's how it started. And we continued in Farsi because we didn't know how we were going to do this. We still don't know. I've been told to take marketing classes, but that's not really my style. So I'm just a clueless young career scientist trying to figure out my way, and my imposter syndrome and my depression, and yeah. And about my background, going back to before my postdoc, I also have a PhD on social psychology. And my master's is in clinical psychology from Iran. And my bachelor is just very unrelated, is on chemical engineering, again from Iran.
That's very nice. Thank you for the vast and nice introduction of yourself.
You. Yeah.
So now for myself, so I'm gonna be the host of this podcast. And I really hope that I can do a good job. So I'll try my best. As Raz mentioned, I have no relation to psychology or psychologists or whatever whatsoever. And I didn't have that before. So right now I got to meet Raz, and I met a lot of people through you. But I was really interested before. So I am Arzu. I am a computer engineer. And I'm developer. And the reason behind,
is it like super wrong that I say IT or
no, okay. Because it's like a general field of doing a lot of stuff, and then developing is like one node of the mother tree, basically, which is which is the IT. Whatever. And then that's my my contribution is I'm feeling I'm doing a lot of stuff here. So I do a lot of like this installations, and I had to figure out all of these things and how things work. And I had no idea how all of these things work and the connectivity and all of that thing behind it. So, but the thing is that I'm really interested in all of these things. I'm the basically opposite of you. This is my passion. Basically, I really want to kind of figure out and learn new stuff. Before starting the podcast, I had no idea whatsoever on how a podcast works, basically. So I had to go through and read and a lot of YouTube videos and whatever. And also the reason that I also want to contribute in this thing is that same as you, when this movement of women life freedom happened, I kind of felt like I am away from my country, and what impact can I have? And I kind of felt like just putting out stories and whatever on Instagram for a page like mine, which is like super private and like 140 followers, it's not going to do anything. It's not going to do any sort of like impact on my contribution. So that's why I kind of felt like, okay, this can be a good way to basically help. Help is a huge word, but yeah, this just a small, teeny, tiny impact. So, and I have a lot of personal reasons for it. And then a part of it is also my curiosity on psychology and how the human brain works, and kind of gaining this self-awareness thing is really interesting, although it's really hard and really painful sometimes, but I'm all for it. But then I have a question from you. Was there any reason, because it might kind of be a question for the audience that okay, the host is a computer scientist, computer field person, and then she has no relation to psychology whatsoever. Why did you chose me? Is that a hard one?
No. Actually, I know the answer. It's very easy. One of the main goals in Promenta, where I work, is gap bridging. It's just bringing science to public and elevating public awareness about human well-being, mental health, happiness. This is why I chose this podcast not to be pure scientific. And this is why I chose to have a little bit more relaxed
environment,
and just not taping it, not recording it in a studio. And I'm not going to sit here and just talk about every single analysis that I've done and every single result with the wording that we use in academia. So the main goal for me is to make sure that what I say is understandable. I understand that we don't have the perfect English because we are not native speakers, but I think we are good enough to be able to contribute to the public awareness. And as long as I don't say something drastically wrong and I don't tell people what type of medications are going to use, I'm pretty sure that I will be able to articulate what I know in a way that it will be helpful. And it's going to be for me, it's in a way, you're the facilitator, you're the catalyzer, you're the person that through which I know what I say, if it's understandable for you, and if it's, if you perceive it as something that you can relate to, then it's something that the other audience, rather than only scientists, are going to be able to connect to. If we are going to talk about only pure scientific podcasts, there are thousands of them. We started in Farsi because it's really important for us to know that there are people in our country that are, even one person is listening and is using what we say for good. And I have the main goal for the English podcast, but I'm going to invite, but yeah, it's one of the main points for the English version that I will be able to actually invite other professionals that are professional in other fields, because I don't know everything and I can't do everything. So I will be able to have mental health professionals, neuroscientists, behavioral geneticists, people that are as curious as me when it comes to mental health and human behavior. And I'm hoping that all of them will be able to connect to the audience through you in a way. Yeah, it's just, I'm aiming to be as little politically correct as I can be, just the way I am. And I'm going to make sure that if disclosure is needed for people to connect and to understand and to feel like they're not alone in anything that they're going through, yes, I am more than happy to do it.
Yeah, that's a beautiful purpose. Well, I am the connection between people and scientists like you. It would be really great if I can help people, and not necessarily helping them like you do, but just helping them in a way that I would say, like, okay, I've had this experience, I've endured this much and this much, and I can just bring awareness so that other people can be a little bit more aware, and maybe they don't do the same mistakes as I did. So I think this is really important, and I don't have like the scientist's mind or something like that. So I'm just like a wow, what am I called in this situation?
You're the public.
Yeah, public. Thank you. And I'm the general public. So it's it would be it's really satisfying for me to be able to help people. We decided to do this podcast instead of Norwegian in English, so that we can have
so that we can have the podcast.
Yeah, so that we can have the podcast. Well, your Norwegian is way better than mine, but for sure. But I think would be it's really respectable that we have the podcast in Norwegian, but maybe to be able to help other people, like a
bigger population,
majority of people, I think it's better to have the podcast in English. So that's why we have the podcast in English. And also, I have a question from you. Who do you think are going to be the audience of your podcast?
I'm hoping that it's going to be both scientists and non-scientists and the general public, because as I said, it's going to be a mixture of personal experiences all the way to how I justify many of my personal experiences through science and try to find answers.
Mhm.
Like my whole life, I've been like this, that I have tried to find answers through science. So I'm hoping that it will be something that majority of people can in a way connect to and communicate with, including scientists and professionals and non-professionals in my field and other fields, and just people in need, in a way, people curious, people seeking awareness, people wanting to understand. Yeah,
That's great. And
that was my lips. Sorry. You have to cut this part.
So this is how it's gonna be. I will we will have the podcast on YouTube and also Spotify and Apple Podcast, but we're gonna see how this is going, and if any other platforms were needed, I will definitely do that and upload on those platforms as well. This was all from me. I really hope that you guys can support us, and it would be really fun to listen. And also, I hope that it can be extremely helpful because, you guys know what you're doing, right?
Do we? Yeah.
Do we? Do you?
No.
Just feel free to leave comments and whatever you want us to talk about. We do have a schedule, by the way, but it would be nice if you can also tell us what you want us to talk about. That's it from me. Thank you.
Looking forward to our episodes and our guests, our future guests. And that's also it from me.
Yeah. Thank you so much for watching and listening, and have a very nice day and night, everyone. Peace out.
Peace out.